Pike County Commission work session, when that comes into order, and our engineer report.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
I don't have any new business to bring up today, but I have several current items brought forth. I've got with me today, brought with me an agreement from the railroad contractor for reimbursement of the repair resurfacing for the County Road 1146. I've got an agreement that I wanted to get approved. The agreement, I know we've already previously talked about this, and for me to pursue this, we've got actual, so I need the actual agreement approved tonight. And then approval for me to sign a contract with Wiregrass for this approximately the same amount to do the actual work. And that was number 2 item on current. Then in addition to that, I've brought resolutions from Alabama actually for the construction and repairs of 2 ditches that are ER sites on County Road 4404, County Road 4421, which is 100% reimbursement on those when we're finished. And then also brought, finally got in the ARPA stormwater agreement from AGIN. That's the $150,000 grant for us to replace storm drain pipes that we pre-submitted for approval of specific ones. And so we got a grant to do that with a 35% match for us of in-kind labor and equipment. And I brought that agreement with me for approval tonight. And then also would like to request to advertise for bid the County Road 6618 resurfacing, which is the part of our 2024 county transportation plan project this year.
Questions? Comments?
It's nothing on what you're talking about. I think you're struggling on that. Tell us where we are on the mowing.
Yeah, we're pretty close. I know he's already crossed over, as far as the southern part of the county goes. He kind of started on the west end coming across. I know he's already crossed over 87, 87, 167. And last week, towards the end of the week, I know he cut like 3304, 06, and 07 in that area. I don't know if he's made it to 231 yet or not, but he's got to be getting fairly close. But I didn't get an update from him today before I came here, and I apologize. But I know that he's definitely over halfway through the southern half of the county. I'd say another 2 weeks probably, he would, because he's moved on really, really fast. So it appears to be doing a good job. Everything I looked at has been.
Yeah, I want you to pass along to them. I've had close to a dozen people reach out to me in the past week and a half, really bragging on the job that they've done. They're super pleased. They've gone the extra mile on a few things, touching stuff up. And I've had people call wanting to know who it was, wanting to congratulate us, you, that, hey, thanks, these folks doing a great job.
I've had some as well. I've had some.
I agree. He is doing a really good job. He's local, so he wanted to do a good job, so to share everybody here that he did good work. But I absolutely pass it on. I did find some additional information on the railroad crossing in town. I finally got a reply from the railroad, or from Outlaw actually, to my reply was from, with the cost estimates from CSX. A lot higher than what I expected. There's 2 parts to this. One part is the mast and the flashing light and all the work that goes into getting that installed. But they're saying that they have to do both parts. They won't do just that without repairing and replacing a lot of the work in the actual crossing itself in the roadway. They said the mast work for the flashing light, the masks, and all that goes into it was $381,281.
That's the flashing lights on the horn.
That's just the flashing lights, leaving on, just the work to do the flashing lights on that one. They didn't give me one for the on included with that, but the road work itself to replace and repair the actual crossing, not associated with the light, but they did tell me they got to do it together. That part two, was $128,657. All total, right at, it's $509,000 and some change to do that. That was the update I got from them. I've got some questions for my contact. I just got these today, so I've had a limited amount of time to.
Yeah, it's fine. I know this is probably, this is more than we've ever.
Yes.
I'm sure there's
Absolutely.
they're gonna want us to pay the maintenance fee as well, right?
They didn't.
What is our upkeep cost, I think?
I do not know actually. As far as maintenance on lights and things for the.
Yeah, last time we got with them on this, they were gonna pay for it all. They wanted us to, it was a different process. They wanted us to pay, I think yearly, and they were gonna get all the costs up front.
Okay. As I know of right now, I don't know that we do pay any kind of yearly or maintenance on it, other than any kind of asphalt maintenance going to just the road. That's not to say that we haven't, I just, as far as I know, especially in the last year to 2 years, I don't think we have.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else? Anything else?
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You made Mr. Herb?
Good evening. Nothing under new business for action tonight. Under current business on the hazard mitigation grant funds, we did put in a letter of intent for upgrading and purchasing of radio equipment for both sheriff's department and volunteer fire. We'll wait and see if we get selected to submit an application for that. We received about 3 weeks ago that, I guess this is officially, that our application for the shelter and surround the bleed control systems and barricades that we had applied for in the last hazard mitigation, we've officially received that they are not going to be funded in this cycle. We still have Brundage and Goshen that are out there. Mike Johnson said that is a good sign. We hadn't been told no yet on those two, so they're still being considered. But the tram shelter and bleed control and barricade systems have all been non-funded for this particular cycle. Had a meeting this morning with the retired senior volunteer program. I would like to bring back our next meeting a memorandum of agreement or understanding they want to get seniors in volunteer positions, not only in working with schools, but also with emergency management, things along those lines. If you have no objection, I'd like to move that forward to the next meeting, put it on the agenda for consideration of getting some volunteers that we can use for various things.
Okay.
We did receive our 120 weather radios. Mackenzie said thought it was about 6 pallets of them. Well, anyway, we do have those, so we will work on distribution means here pretty soon to get it out to people that need those. And we will be hosting 5 classes in conjunction with Stadium A here in Troy this summer for working toward everybody's got to get certifications and clean certifications. So we're working with our former 911 director, David Morgan, to do these 5 classes here in Troy.
Okay.
And then lastly, 2 weeks ago when we had the bad wreck down on 231, I was talking to Commissioner Copeland, I think the day after, with the road being closed and the detours, and he was asking, about the process to send out a message so that people through the radio alert system That is not an automatic process. After talking to Robbie, we're gonna have to set it up as a manual process when we have a road closed. Very similar to what, Derek and do. If they're closing the road down for maintenance, they go in and send out a message. We will have to do that, do the same thing, send out a, manual message, but we should have that up and ready to go in the next, week or so.
Yeah, that, which that's really, but really what, not only 231 got closed, but then two of the detour roads got closed due to secondary wrecks. And so that was there was a lot of frustrated people, which somebody else is like, ended that night. So I mean, somebody having a hard time getting home is one thing, but I know at one time I thought we got those, and maybe somebody else will send them out, but.
We get some stuff out through the CAD system, like trees down, things along those lines.
Yeah, that's probably what.
But, we can make it a manual process, but we can do it for roads when we close for an extended period of time, what the detours are, not to travel that way.
Do we have a timeline on, back on the storm shelters for running, are we still just waiting to
We're
hear?
still waiting. This has come almost 2 years after we applied.
Right. Is that the norm?
Well,
Okay.
I don't know, but I mean, I think, the information, just general information is that FEMA's had so many disasters to deal with, they're so far behind. But yeah, they did fund radios and stuff like that, with IDs, but we're still waiting to hear from two of them.
You were asking something.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Judge Munn will sign up for about 30 of your volunteers in March, and November. I'll be ready as mine.
Absolutely. Do you want, I can, Dana Bush is the new RSVP person.
We're all out the line.
Did any commissioner have anything to report at this time?
I'll mention that, end of this month, if you haven't already signed up with the legislative conference, we talked about when I was at the committee meeting, all the things that, kind of come up, but the ratification of that, that work will happen the 29th and 30th of November in Albany.
Just move again.
Yeah, so I did give, in coordination with what I brought at the last meeting, I brought an additional item that I guess will go into the next. Go in and go into the next, but it's just simply the surplus of the vehicle that we currently have, the license inspector, which goes along with my current request. And I don't know, I know we're trying to work out some of the, I guess, behind the scene details really to figure out some of the budget stuff, but I think that the request itself stands as far as we need to replace that vehicle. So it'd be a 1 year, one-time budget item. I do have some of the vehicles that are available in our list, and they run somewhere, they were somewhere in the $32,000 to $37,000 range. And our intention is just to find something probably in the middle there that would option out well for the job and then have a decent resale value, hopefully. You guys have any questions about any of this? Because I know it seems, I'm talking about it as if you're completely aware of everything we're doing. So if you have a question, I'm happy to answer it.
Thank you.
You guys are tough.
Okay. Thank you.
Tough but fair.
Jennifer?
I don't know if we need to belabor this too much, but I did submit a letter to McKinsey this week saying basically that I was asking for 2 deputy coroners. Those 2 are, as we discussed at the last meeting, Addie Peters and Johnny Turbin. Addie is from Troy locally, Johnny's from Brundage, so geographically they're well located, and both of them, of course, have other full-time jobs, but they'll just be my backup.
Anybody got any questions about any of that?
What's the gentleman from Greenwich's last name?
Turban.
Turner.
Mhm. And they've both been on several cases with me and are doing a good job. Okay.
Thank you. There we go.
Jordan, sit down. Move this chair. No, I'll sit right here. Y'all want to jump right on into the...
We are.
I apologize.
Pike County Commission
Ben Tardy.
during the work session, we'll now have a public hearing for the vacation of County Road 6601 and County Road 2297. And there should be a sheet, a sign-up sheet, repass plan. Y'all all please sign. Alan, do you need to say anything, or engineer, one of you guys?
Just a few remarks.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at what order we have these in. I don't see one. Anyway, let's just take the partial, both of these are partial vacations, not vacating an entire county road, which we can do both. John is here, Jim is here for his client, so Jim will take yours first. A portion of County Road 2297, which y'all should have that. I have checked it along with Derek. Derek double checked the legal description that was worked up by Jim, so everybody's on the same page about how to describe the part of the road that's being vacated. And the proper notice has been published in the paper once a week for 4 weeks, advertising tonight's hearing. So that's done. And there's a map attached, which you should have.
I don't think they have the map, they have the resolutions. I'm not sure I have the map with the resolutions.
Okay. It's just a county road map, and it shows where the partial vacation is requested. Eyeball it just to see it. It's down here where it's got marked.
Okay.
It's just that little
Okay.
strip. I've researched it, done my due diligence along with Derek. No one is going to be affected in any way by ingress, egress to their property. And so I don't see anyone here. So based on the request, it appears to be one that we grant, provided nobody else is negatively affected by it, and no one is. Derek, do you have anything you want to add? Okay. And then the second request, also for a partial vacation, was submitted by John on behalf of the parties named in the petition, Mallard Holdings, Tamarack, Timberco, and then New Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church. They all abut this portion being requested. And again, in researching it, there were several landowners that I had to send letters of notice to, just like on the other one, always is. And I've heard nothing back, other than, who did I tell you had called about the,
Ben
Yes. Ben Chancellor had called. He's next to the Margie White's daughter's property up there. And he, once this is vacated, if it's vacated, then his land abuts, comes right up to the right of way of the road that's gonna keep going on south. And he wants to be able to gate it and the other party that owns the property next to us is in agreement with that as well. I've talked to both of them. I think John has too. No party or landowner that I found in doing the research that we do, looking at the tax maps, looking at title issues, is negatively impacted. They continue to have ingress, egress to their respective properties. So this one likewise, I would recommend vacating that portion, and I think the engineer agrees with that.
Anything else? Anybody got any questions about it? Okay.
I talked to one of the members at New Mount Pleasant. He's in favor of it, called and said he's using it as a dump. And he wanted to close it so he wouldn't have to go all the way through there, so. Well, I know mine is, somebody else complained.
Okay, if nothing else, administrative report.
Under new business, I've got, the first item is going to be sheriff vehicle bids. In the past, we have done that through the state bid list, buying vehicles, just rotating his vehicles out. Well, the state did not put out a bid for the vehicles that he likes to use for his office. And so he's asking us to send out bids for his office, since we can't just buy off the state bid list like we normally like to do. So I have put a copy of the bid that we'd like to send out for them tomorrow. I did not include the attachments because it was really thick, but I've got it available where I can email that information to y'all tomorrow. But it's just specs on some full-size trucks and some SUVs. He's just having a hard time. They don't have the police interceptor packages out there on the bid. It's just going to be kind of a struggle with some different options that we're trying to put out there to be able to equip the deputies with the kind of vehicles they need to get out there and do the job. But I would like to ask to suspend the rules to send out those bids tomorrow so that we can go ahead and try to help them possibly to get them ordered. The last time we ordered them and they were on a bid list, it took almost probably 7-8 months to even still get them in. And that was off state bid. So we want to go ahead and get a jump on this and try to get it out there so that we can hopefully get something in for them. The second item is a budget revision for reappraisal. This is something we do annually. We have to wait until we're sure all of the invoices and everything have come in every year. So this is just the annual thing that we need to do for reappraisal. And so that budget revision is in your package. The next item is school resource officer agreement. We approved this within the budget, but we did not have the memorandum of understanding for us and the Board of Education and the Sheriff's Department. And so I'm asking to go ahead and suspend the rules. This will stay the same as it's been staying since we started the program with the county board. It's for 2 officers out of the schools. Item number 4, this would also ask for suspension. Payroll falls on next Thursday. And that being a holiday and the bank's closed, we're asking that we can move that payroll date up to Wednesday instead of Thursday so that we can make sure the employees go ahead and get paid on that day. There's no questions about New business, under current business, the first item that I have will be, make sure I'm speaking the name. I believe the only item that I'm gonna have is gonna be the budget revision for the license inspector, and this is what the judge just talked about. There's a copy, of the requested budget revision, and essentially it included a vehicle that wasn't included in the original budget, is how that is, laid out. We had to do some moving around of some funds to make that work, but I mean, we've got it sitting there in a way that'll work with our budget. But other than that, I don't have anything extra. If you will notice, this is the first meeting of the year, so we do have some housekeeping items for as far as chairman election, vice chairman, we set the meeting dates for the year, and approval of the bank account listing, and you have a copy of our bank accounts that we'll need approved in your package.
Anything else? Anybody got any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Public hearing will now come to a close. The work session will also come to a close, and we will reconvene at 6 p.m. for our regular meeting.
I just didn't see you.
Probably 3 o'clock. This issue.
I did the whole spread, but that's okay, I'm just didn't know.
Here, had to leave.